Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tony's Backroom. Yes, I'm back with a fury. Tonight we're going to discuss candidates who want to be senator, the senator race. And this evening I have the pleasure of having a good friend of mine. I'm not prejudiced, but he's been a long friend of mine, Dan Dwyer. Hi, Dan.
Thank you, Tony.
How you doing?
Good, good.
Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, you're at it again, huh?
I'm at it again. I never thought I'd be doing it again, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, let's start off with why you're doing it again.
I'm doing it again for one very simple reason. Senator Peter Bragdon bowed out. That's the only reason. Had the man decided to run again, which I had thoroughly thought he would have, I think he weathered the storm on taking the job with the insurance company at the state. I think he got some enough heat from it to bow out, and I commend him for doing the right thing. I think it was the right thing to do. But once he made that announcement, I figured it was an obligation to the people who had supported me and supported me well, as you know, 2 years ago when I went against him and beat him in Merrimack rather well. I felt like I just had to do it. I had to step up. It's not a job that I'm burning to do. It's not a job that I have a life ambition to be a state senator, that's for sure. But the issues that are at hand right now in our state, they're huge. They're just absolutely huge. And I think we need someone who's qualified and has got some life experience in the world of business and community. And I'm hoping that the people from Merrimack will cast their support for me.
Very good, Dan. Now I'm going to ask mostly the political questions, like all political
yes.
reporters. That's me. What do you bring on the table that the other candidates don't bring on the table?
I'm glad you asked. This is a popularity contest. It's the way it goes in life. Once you decide to get into politics, your life becomes an open book for everybody. I really feel at this point, if you want an establishment candidate who's an establishment party Republican, then you've got two fine people, Maureen Mooney and Gary Daniels from Milford. Two fine individuals, but very establishment and history of working within the establishment. Gary Daniels, especially 18 years in the House and several years as a town selectman in Milford. Again, very quality guy. Maureen Mooney, on the other hand, I can't be any plainer. Her stepping up into the race splits the vote in Merrimack. It can't be said. This comes down to numbers, and by Maureen coming into the race and myself, along with the other guy, I'll mention him after, but give you some numbers. 2 years ago, 2,100 people showed up in Merrimack. Between Milford and Amherst and Wilton, there was approximately another 2,700 over there. So we're almost 50% of the vote. I had 1,200 votes to Peter Bragdon's 900. If Maureen can hope to get as much as Peter Bragdon versus Peter Bragdon's name recognition, let's just say she does. Let's say I get less, she gets a little bit more. If we both get 1,000 apiece, I can't see victory being that significant. Even if Gary Daniels wins, or anybody who wins this race, it's going to be by the slimmest of margins. We could be looking at a 20, 30 vote winner with the three candidates that I mentioned. The fourth candidate, I'm afraid I have to be honest with the people. Dan Hines is new to town. He is a convicted felon. You can look him up. I don't know why he's in this race. It's a mystery. But people out in the community, the silence has been deafening, because in this political PC world that we live in, everyone's like, oh, be nice or be quiet, or you don't want to say the negative. But this is my community, been here for 20 years. You've been here almost 40 years. It's not right that what I look as someone has some secret motives who can come into town, and it's the charge. We all can commit a crime in life and be forgiven, but this was an attorney who committed extortion against 18 small business owners who were salon owners in the town, and he was convicted felon, and it's not good. The fact that you could forgive someone for a crime is fine, but his zero community involvement in Merrimack is troubling, and not just Merrimack, but Milford and Amherst and Wilton as well. He's just recently moved from Nashua, decided to shop around to see where he could win a race. I don't know. But I think I owe it to the fact of people in Merrimack to let you know what's going on in our own town, and that's what's going on with the candidates. As far as being the best qualified, the reason why I bring my business experience, I bring my life experience. I've been on the town council working on that budget for 5 years. I know the numbers. I've been a father of 3 children, whether it's from coaching, knowing the college tuition routes and everything. Again, I think Maureen is a good person, but I don't think her life experience has her ready for this job as senator. As you know, in the House, being a member of the House, you can kind of get by with 400 people. You know, you kind of learn on the job. Your friends, your other delegates from town can put you under your wing. When you go to the Senate, there's 24 people there, and they're not there to help you. They're not there to be your friend. They want that Senate president, if it happens to be Chuck Morse again, they want your vote on the Republican side, or vice versa on the Democrat side. But they're not there to help you through life and bring any life experience issues. You need to come prepared, and you need to know what those issues are. And I think that's what I can do for this district, is start day one knowing what the issues are.
So speaking about issues, let's talk about some issues that got passed this year.
Okay.
Let's start off with the expansion of Medicare. What did you think about that?
Well, the news is in right now is what I think about it. I don't know if you've heard recently, but the rumbling in Concord right now is that due to the legislation that was passed, they're now discovering that they had a much more expansion, or people who were enrolled, than they had ever thought. The number is floating around in Concord that I just found out last night is 35 million. They're down 35 million in the Health and Human Services. I don't know if you had heard it yet either.
No, I haven't had a chance.
That seems to be the number where it's at. The Medicaid expansion program in New Hampshire right now, as the news will soon be coming out, will show that they're short over $30 million. So once again, they passed a piece of legislation not knowing the economic cost.
And what do you think about the 4.2% tax on gas?
A little gray on that one. I'm going to have a lot of people on the right and conservatives disagree with me on this one. But again, I'm a common sense guy. I'm the guy that wants to bring common sense back. I think it's practically dead throughout the whole country, quite frankly. For Merrimack people, the way it was tied in, that the gas tax was tied in with the removal of Exit 12, made it very hard for our reps to vote one way or the other. I look at it from a practicality point, that nobody knows what the price of gas is on any given day. They just don't know. It's up 5 cents, it's down 3 cents, it's all over the map. I think too many political groups have politicized it, and Americans for Prosperity comes to mind. That's the name. Good group overall, but bashing people who voted for it when, again, common sense, okay, so bear with me, 4 cents, 4.5. 2 gallons is 8 cents, right? Another 4 gallons is 16 cents. You know where I'm going with this, right? 20 gallons is under $1. I can't get all excited about raising 4.5 cents on gasoline when it costs you under $1 to fill your tank that day, that week. And let's say you drive a lot and you fill your tank twice a week, then you got hit for $2. I will not get passionate over that number.
So what do you
I have a lot of other numbers to go over with you to be passionate about, but the gas tax, it's hard for me to complain and get into an uproar about how they did me wrong.
Give me some passionate some numbers you want to go over with.
Insurance. The state of New Hampshire, we're being run by almost a gangster-like type of politicians up there. As Republicans, we've been hearing the drumbeat about Governor Jeanne Shaheen over and over. So if I sound like a broken record, sorry, but you need to hear the facts. So mid-90s, Governor Jeanne Shaheen reforms the health insurance industry in New Hampshire. We go from 26 insurance agencies down to 2, down to 1. Now this has been happening for 15 years. What has the establishment do to do anything to fix it? Nothing.
Nothing.
Why am I supposed to be an establishment pro-Republican when one of the biggest 5 bills, your mortgage, your car payment, your food, the gas and insurance in your car, and then your health insurance. Health insurance is one of your top 5s. What has a politician in Concord do for us? All I keep saying is the establishment seems to want to work for the insurance companies, Public Service of New Hampshire, the gambling lobby. You pick, but are they working for us? One of the biggest scams that's going on in New Hampshire right now, and I'm writing a blog, I urge you to read it. It will be on Merrimack Patch again, and you can be found on Facebook on Dan Dwyer for State Senate, is the LGC, and I hate to be drilling down to a kind of a nitty-gritty subject, but it's really important, is the LGC group that is now called Health Trust. Well, I am, along with 6 of my colleagues on the town council, are the buyer of insurance for all town employees. So I'm nothing special, but every councilman, alderman, selectman throughout the state of New Hampshire knows what I'm talking about. We have to buy insurance for cops, fire, teacher, highway workers. Well, we can only buy it from LGC and Primex. Primex is a private insurance company that deals in municipal insurances. But when you only have 2 companies, what happens? Price is the same. The state of New Hampshire has legitimized a company, and they want to call it a quasi-private company, LGC, also Health Trust. Health Trust insurance run by New Hampshire only sells to cities and towns. You can't buy it. The gas station guy can't buy it. The school can't technically buy it. They have to go through the school board. We, councilmen, aldermen, etc., are the buyers of this insurance. And as we've been saying as the town council, 6 years ago, our family plan, so if you're a cop with a wife and a kid, that family plan was 16 grand. Today it's $31,000 a year. That's inexcusable. The state of New Hampshire perpetually keeps that company in place, trying to call it a quasi-private company when it's not private at all. All their revenue derives from us, from taxpayer dollars. Until Concord changes that system and opens up a free market, this is what's the problem is. We seem to have politicians who are against the free market, who literally do not promote it, who actually make laws to suppress it and keep a company like Health Trust in the hands of state regulators. Again, who is the boss of Health Trust Insurance Company? State regulators. Who are the boss of the state regulators? You guys, the House and the Senate. Former Senator Peter Bragdon now works for that company, which I cried foul a long time ago when he took the job. You can't be the boss of one thing and the next day cross the street, take an $180,000 a year job, and all of a sudden be the big insurance guy and cross the street and become a senator. So again, he did the right thing by resigning, but the company's in place. And I'm forced to protect the citizens of Merrimack to try and buy decent insurance. And us on the council, our hands are locked. We have no place else to go. That insurance number will not change unless we open up the free market in New Hampshire and get more companies to invite them to come in.
How would you get more companies to come in?
You create legislation. You have to take the law and write it in such a way that it becomes inviting to companies to come in. It'd be like lowering the business profits tax.
We've been trying to do that for a long time.
And it doesn't seem to get done.
No.
And yet why won't anybody come? Why can't we get another Raytheon or another Massachusetts business, just to come over the line? Why can't we do that? We know why. We're not giving them an invite that's worthy for them to move out of their buildings and come to New Hampshire for a significant reason.
To be a devil advocate, though, but they said that New Hampshire is a low rate. I mean, jobs.
Yes.
Jobs in New Hampshire. So
you mean pay?
Well, not pay. I mean getting a job.
The unemployment is so low.
Yeah.
It's troubling. That is I can't see it being fixed. We're at 4.4. Unemployment rate is 4.4.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not good, but it's not bad.
Well, I think it's great. I would be different. I would define it different. My opinion is anything under 4 is full employment. Anybody who wants a job can get a job when the unemployment rate's 4%. Is 2 or 3% imaginable? Is it realistic?